Right, we're about, what, 15, 20 minutes into the programme. It's time for a row.
Yes.
Not between us.
No,
right.
we don't call it that. We call it a debate.
A debate.
It's a heated debate. Now, here's the question. Is it wrong for a parent to cherry-pick their children's friends? Now, yesterday, Apprentice star Katie Hopkins here, she made headlines after saying that she refuses to let her kids befriend children who she deems are beneath them. Now, she screens their party invites. She doesn't let them play with children who've got pierced ears and girls with common names, or the ones she thinks are common anyway. She says, no, it's all out of the question.
Give me a common name.
Tyrone.
Oh, yes. It's hard to argue that.
Now, we've got journalist Sonia Poulton. She, however, is outraged by Katie's comments. She says it's snobby, it's shallow, and you should let your children pick their own friends. And also, of course, we want to know what you think. You can get involved this morning because we've got the worm. The worm is back. There it is, along the bottom of the screen.
Oh, you won't be laughing if the worm turns.
I know.
No.
I fear the main worm go badly.
Let us know who you agree with. Go to itv.com/this morning and we will see the result of your thoughts.
And be honest with yourself. No matter where you are in the social scale, do you discriminate as to who your children mix with? Are you a snob?
I say with a pointy finger. I think it depends how you qualify snob now, and I'm starting to understand people qualify
You're not repulsed by the idea, though, are you?
Well, I suppose over the number of things I've been called yesterday, snob is actually rating as a compliment, probably.
OK, so there's
but
Katie.
You know what?
She's a snob.
I think if getting your kids to school on time, getting them in a uniform that's correct, getting them to do their homework and trying to make them succeed, standards, if that makes me a snob, then yes,
I'm
a
we all
snob.
do that. That's not the bit that people are saying you're a snob. Getting our children to school with the right uniform.
No, we don't all
things,
do that, though.
It's the when they get there, you're saying, now, don't play with Charmaine or Tyrone and that one with the earring.
And that one with the tattoos.
Yes.
But tell us why.
Because I'm saying, so let's say Tyrone, who we're just making up that name, of course. Tyrone, let's say Tyrone, he is always 25 minutes late. He's always 25 minutes late, religiously. His parents drop him off in their pyjamas. OK, they don't get out of the car because they're in their gyms.
Yes.
They just deposit him at the gate. He disrupts the class that my child's in. She's trying to learn. He doesn't have anything bearing any resemblance to a uniform on, despite that being what you're supposed to have on for school. He's done no home learning. He disrupts the class because he's rude to the teacher. He walks out, slams the door, all the things that actually go on in the state system, and because the state system isn't streamed.
But then a lot of that, I would say...
That's why I say don't play with Tyrone.
Yeah, but a lot of that, I would say, is the parents' fault. They're dropping him off late, they're not making him do his homework. What if your daughter, your child, goes, but I really like Tyrone, he's a lovely boy, he's great fun, and I want to be his friend? Are you not going against her natural kind of will to just befriend someone who she likes?
You know, later in life, when they get to secondary school, obviously I'm going to have much less control. They're going to choose their friends, and I won't be able to control that. But right now, I'm the adult, and they're the child.
Sonia,
so
she believes she's setting the standard. She's setting the line.
Yes, I mean, the problem is that what Katie says is, for me, everything that's pretty much wrong with the world. It's a very shallow perspective on life. I believe that it takes a village to raise a child. So that includes all manner of different people in there. And once you start cherry-picking, if you surround yourself with people of a certain type, you end up with, you know, sort of one-dimensional characters. Well, that's not what I've ever headed for with my child. And the truth is that I know that your article was hugely based on a study that had taken place about how cleverness apparently is infectious. Well, the thing about that is that cleverness is no more infectious than a broken leg is. You're either intelligent or you're not.
Yes, but the other hand of that is that a disruptive child, if your friend befriends a kid that's always messing around in the class, making them giggle, says, oh, let's be late together, they can be influenced with that too.
Absolutely, but the best teacher knows that you always aspire to the brightest pupil and get the other pupils to follow that pupil. That's what the best teachers know. And that's what we need to do. It's an education
when I was
issue.
young, my mother had this thing about being with people who chewed bubble gum.
Right.
What a stupid... I mean, I just thought, did it pollute me by being around people who chewed bubble gum?
Do you know, the other thing that's been really overlooked, and it's really important, is the truth is that we naturally gravitate towards people of similar intellect. So this idea that you can start to direct children in a certain way, I think is hugely damaging, because the one thing that you're not doing, Katie, is you're not teaching your children about emotional intelligence. It's all this emphasis on academia.
Are your children going to be emotionally unintelligent because of you?
I've heard all this, and I've heard this kind of idea that it takes a village, you know, and all this sort of yoghurt knitting stuff from the left wing. And frankly, people say, oh, the rich tapestry of life that your children, if you don't mind, are missing out on. well, actually, it's more like a soggy wet blanket when you come into the playground, and I don't need my children to be part of that. A lot of the children in their class, you say you aspire to the brightest. Well, actually, a lot of them have got a TV in their bedroom, they've got a Nintendo in their pocket, they've got an iPhone 5 in the other pocket. These are primary school children.
That doesn't make them bad
Does that
kids.
make them really keen on
my
learning,
my son's got an iPad
How old
and a
is he,
laptop.
if
He's
you don't
11
mind?
any minute now.
He's not, so he's not at the age
but
of my
you,
children.
I mean, you're only being
You
devil's
wouldn't let
advocate
him.
there. You control that. I mean,
You would not.
know, but say,
No, I
Katie,
don't. I do
there you
control
are.
it.
There we go. There we go.
bit.
Then don't not be
But
something
no,
you're not.
but let's get into pure snobbiness. Say you're out
Yes.
there in the chip shop tonight. No, you wouldn't be in the chip shop
No.
tonight. No, but say, no, let's see. I was in the chip shop
You're
last
in the
week.
chip
yes,
shop, OK.
And there was a woman there in her onesie in front of me. Would she be the sort of you would say, don't play with her children?
My children would say, so my smallest son would say, why is that woman dressed in her pyjamas, Mummy? And I would say, because she hasn't bothered to get changed today, son.
Yes.
So that's the interaction we would have
Well,
with
I've
that.
seen them, actually. It's quite comical. I see lots of people in Belfast and they get their hair done and everything and they go out in their pyjamas to whatever, the shops and whatever it is, and they think they're gorgeous. What's your view on that?
Well, I mean, I'm not one to necessarily go off to Tesco in my onesie or anything like that, but neither would I necessarily look down on somebody doing
Would
it.
you not?
No, I really don't like this real shallowness that, unfortunately, you really epitomise. And
Do you practice what you preach?
yes, I do, absolutely. I have a
Yes.
15-year-old daughter, and she is testament to my attitude.
Has she never
embracing
had a friend?
all
that,
manner of
has she
people.
never had a friend while she was growing up that you
Yeah.
didn't like or didn't approve of?
Of course, absolutely.
So, and you never
I-
showed it? Never said anything,
I'll
I
tell
don't
you-
like you
I'll
playing
tell
with
you
that
How do I know
girl.
you didn't approve of
Wait
her?
a second.
How come you didn't
Wait
approve
a second,
of her,
because I
though?
obviously gave you complete reign to speak. The important thing is, really important thing is that I might not have approved of her. The only children that I haven't liked have been judgmental, bitchy children, which when I read your article yesterday, I thought, oh, dear Lord, those children are being raised to be absolutely judgmental and to view people
Do you
through
ever
such a
watch
narrow
Jeremy
prism of
Kyle?
life. I've just been blasted in the room, you know.
Are you
Eammon.
judgmental? I mean, when you watch Jeremy Kyle, are you judgmental?
No. Well, we're all judgmental because that's how we make decisions
would you
in
let
life.
your children
But there
then
has to be
play
a fine
with a lot
line.
of people's
There has to be a
kids
fine-
who
of
appear on
course,
you would?
I have
Right, okay,
encouraged it.
right.
I've actively encouraged it because, as I say, I believe in actually a proper rich tapestry of life, not just
Are
cherry-picking
your children
people.
aware, Katie, that you're doing this?
What's her worm looking like? Let's see.
So, well, there. Sonia has 73,
Yeah.
I have 27.
But are the kids aware that you're cherry-picking their friends
Then
and
again,
don't
we have
play
to
with
have to
them?
say, I suppose a lot of my type of people would be at work, wouldn't they? So are my friends aware that I'm...
As opposed to mine.
Who will
As
be at
opposed
home
to
in
my
their
lefty
onesie, darling.
shirtless.
Yeah, they'll be at home in their onesie.
As opposed to appearing on... Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, moving right along. Are my children aware? So if I said... So would they be aware, not specifically? They wouldn't
Yes.
say, well, my mum picks my friends.
Yeah.
But if I said, OK, tell me, whatever my child's called, what... Who's a good person at school?
Yes.
They'd say, well, so-and-so comes in our uniform, she comes on time, she sits down, she tries really hard, and she's got the most stars on her star chart. So she'd be the sort of person that I should hang around with. So they know what's a good person, who might make them... And let's just be clear about this study. The study says if you hang around with intelligent people, you're more intelligent, which is why you're more intelligent, darling, because you hang around with your clever wife.
Thank
And
you. Well, I think we
that's
should leave it
important.
there,
It
Katie.
says one.
I think that's a
Thank
good...
you very much. We'll go to Matthew
time to
again
leave it.
at Hub HQ.
Wow, this has got everybody talking. I think Katie's comment about the onesie will get everybody talking as well. Now, obviously, Katie Louise Walmsley, shouldn't we be teaching our children how not to be judgmental and prejudiced? My daughter will be allowed to play with anybody she likes. Katie Birch, if my parents did this, then I probably wouldn't have any friends. And Suzanne Paws Lodge, I wish I could pick my children's friends. I may not make the right choice, but at least I would know their backgrounds. Kieran Dunstan, this really is out of order and will send out the wrong message to her children about befriending people for who they are. And Emma Rock, I wouldn't let my kids play with badly behaved kids. It's not about class, but behaviour and manners, and that goes to kids and parents. Phoebe Rudd has got a very good point. It's a bit of a poem, actually. What is in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would still smell as sweet. Interesting. I'm not in a onesie. I watched this morning.
No, but you're a poet. The way you delivered that was amazing.
Do you know what I was saying as well? I think I know, I do definitely do, is that I have actively encouraged friendships with Jack because I like the mother.
Yes.
So it actually has become about me
Do you know
wanting
what?
to be friends
I've
with the
done
mum.
that too because I like the mum.
But you need a wide variety, otherwise
Yeah.
you end up with a lot of Katies.
I think,
End of.
but I think a lot of you,
blankets.
to be quite truthful, are in denial about that. I think a lot of you are in denial about that. I agree
Yeah.
with you. So I know I like the rich tapestry idea,
important.
but I think at the end of the day, people are protective of their offspring and they like to choose.
Right,
Of course they are, but if you're protective, you don't
That's enough.
You don't go to a
Still
national
going.
newspaper
Still
naming
going.
children in your children's
Still
class.
going.
Here's the competition!
I am!